You can definitely see the dark skies overhead, and you can try to make out the funnel there in the center of your screen. I believe this was shot in the Springfield area as well. So the funnel then roars through downtown Springfield, according to the spokesperson for the mayor. Reports of heavy damage, though, in the city's south end section. He says trees were uprooted downtown. We've seen some of that. He also says city officials rushed into the basement when the danger became apparent, but as I said, he reports no injuries. The State Police Communications Center, by the way, has been fielding numerous calls regarding tornado sightings. The latest cities to report a tornado touching down: Springfield, as we've been saying, Munson, and Wilbraham, and now we may want to add Worcester to that list. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, we've been learning from our meteorologists there are actually two supercells, one in the Worcester area, but the one that we've really been watching that seems to have touched down and moved along is the one that we were just showing you a video from also the Springfield area. We have another eyewitness report in terms of a viewer who has joined us right now. It's Peter Parzik. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Peter, are you with us from Sturbridge?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us, you witnessed the storm? Can you tell us, is that so? What did you see?
We witnessed it. We were right in the middle of it. There was about 6 football fields worth of tornadic material flying everywhere. There's trees down here everywhere in Sturbridge. I'm tracking the field right now, and it is currently, like I said, about 6 football fields wide in places, and it just goes on and on, town after town here, it looks like.
Well, Peter, you're describing the aftermath, but how about when that storm actually touched down? Were you inside? Did you seek shelter, or were you outside in a vehiel? Or
we were in a vehicle, and there was nowhere to go except the opposite direction.
So you stayed in the car, you didn't pull over?
We stayed in the car, and it literally came up over the range here, over a mountain, and it come down, and we just went the other way. We turned around and went, I think we were going west, but I'm not sure.
Do you know, let's clarify, because you are in the Sturbridge area. Where were you driving approximately?
We were coming over from the, where's my sister? We're coming over from the, Auburn area.
Okay. And how long did you see the storm activity last, and how long since you think it's cleared out? Is it better now? Gone?
Well, yeah, it's gone now. There's just heavy thunder and lightning, dangerous lightning now in the area. But it's still really bad. There's no power in this immediate area. There's areas where the telephone poles are down, probably a dozen or so at a time, where the tornado came across.
Peter, it had to have been somewhat surreal when you're in a vehicle and you're seeing this. There's that moment of, like, what are we going to do now? Are we going to pull over? Is there a ditch? Do we drive the other way? And you're watching yourself.
We're just like, is this really happening?
And now where are you, and what are you doing? And have you?
They tell you, get off, get out of your car, seek shelter. There wasn't time.
So now where are you, Peter? Are you home? Have you spoken with any of your neighbors? Have you
I'm
moved?
trying to get away from 84 and pick my way back over to Connecticut. I'm on Hall Road, and I don't know exactly where this is or what town it is.
Well, definitely, we heard Highway 131 over 84, so you seem to be right in the middle of things. All I can say is please be very careful.
It literally passed right over 84, taking down a highway girder sign. Wow. There was a car flipped over in the median. It's still there. They just were getting state police on scene. There was volunteers that showed up with blue lights, I guess, to assist in the meantime. But if you could stay out of the Sturbridge area, I'd suggest staying away from that area.
Well,
the police and fire are going to have their hands full with emergency calls in this area.
No, that's excellent advice for everyone's safety, and so that it sounds like you definitely have some significant damage there. Just curious about the car that you saw flip. Did you see anybody? Was the car anybody inside?
I couldn't see. There was a lot of people there. already on scene, and it was dangerous to stop or to look and see what was going on.
Yeah, you've talked about a lot of trees down, a highway sign down, no power, telephone poles down by the dozen. Any other vehicles that you saw strewn about the highway? I mean, I'm just trying to get a sense.
We only saw one vehicle flipped, and that was in the middle of the... there's more weather coming up.
All right.
Hold on.
I think we'll let you go.
I think you should take
I'm
cover.
currently now on 49 North.
Okay.
Spencer, going toward Route 9, and there is rotation in the sky right now.
All right, we'll check in with our meteorologists about your exact location, and just try to be careful. I guess you stay in your car. I'm going to find out what you're supposed to do there when you're not in your house. I know in the house you get to the center of the home if you don't have a basement.
Find a ditch,
Jeremy.
low-lying area. All right, Pete has some new information now as far as that area. So, Pete?
I wanted to just tell you that...
Go ahead.
Okay, so Pete, we just spoke with a gentleman who is on 49 North, Route 9 area. Maybe, Jeremy, I know you have to check the map. You don't know the whole state of Massachusetts by heart, but he said he saw 6 football fields wide of damage, telephone poles down by the dozen, and he actually sees what he's describing as some more tornadic activity right now in that area. So,
but there's a difference when you are explaining the difference between a rotation system, and a tornado. There's drastic difference in that.
There's a huge difference, Francis. I mean, when you talk about rotation, you have this spin in the cloud. It has not necessarily come out of the cloud and reached the ground. When you have it reached the ground, you made the connection, you have a tornado. Then you can say it's on the ground. We have had that.
Did he say he saw some rotation?
He was in the Sturbridge
okay.
area. He couldn't get any place, so he stayed in his car, and I'm curious about what you tell people in their car. He saw a car flipped. He's seen significant damage into the ditch. Right.
Yeah.
So, but you get out of your car then?
You do.
Yeah, and you find a low-lying area kind of like on the side of the road, and then you go into the ditch. Or if you're in an overpass, you get in that section of the overpass at that corner, right, of the overpass that has the most cover.
Okay, scratch that. Don't get under the overpass.
You have a channeling effect in that. You can get
channeling effect.
Okay, so stick with the ditches.
20 years ago, there was a video of people running up under the girders.
Old bad information.
It works
was.
for them, but do not.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So stick with the ditches.
And you want to get out of the car. It seems ironic. You want to get out of the car because your car becomes a missile.
Sure.
And it becomes airborne. And it's,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you want to get
like
out of
a
that.
lightning storm where it offers you some
Correct.
protection. So Jeremy was actually asking me, he was interested in the fact that this guy might have seen rotation after he had reported seeing the storm go through the Sturbridge area.
Yeah, that is kind of odd. The tornado, is also not necessarily a straight wedge, and the fact, it can bend a little bit, and it may look like it kind of snakes up into the cloud too. So it has a very odd swirl.
And it also can lift up. You can have a tornado with a rotation, Pete, and it can actually lift up in certain parts, which is what you said may have happened in the Springfield area.
Correct. Yes, it can go back up into the cloud and come back down too. Yes, people think it skips, but it doesn't technically skip as much as it lifts back up off the ground. So current tornado warnings include Worcester, Norfolk, and Middlesex counties. Okay, it's time to take stock of where we're at here, what's going on, and where everybody is. And tornado safety is the first thing we gotta pinpoint here. And you want to head to the basement or interior room of your house or apartment, lowest floor away from windows. This isn't a situation where you go out and watch the storm pass by. This isn't a run-of-the-mill summer thunderstorm. These are supercells, the highest category of thunderstorms that we have in New England and in the United States, in the world for that matter. Stay away from loose objects. They become missiles, as we had just mentioned. That'd be lawn furniture and anything else that can fly around. We have had confirmation of a tornado out near Springfield. It has been on the ground for a long time. It's been on the ground for what we think was around 40 minutes. It's passed through Wilbraham, Munson, Brimfield, and possibly into Sturbridge as well. We don't know if that is still on the ground right now. We are still seeing the signature of some spin in the cloud, but admittedly, if we can go to the radar, we can see this and the colors on that. Hang on a second, let me be able to punch this up. And you can see that it's not a situation where it's like as distinct. We had what we saw was a classic signature of a tornado, and it was definite that it was on the ground. We're getting confirmation of that. We had some numbers to put to that, which we included to be about 100 miles an hour, what we call shear. So, okay, we had that point, but now it seems to have waned a little bit. It has weakened. The numbers have gone down. So we're not saying to let your guard down. We still see a possible rotation, but we're not as confident that this is on the ground. It doesn't look like it. really is. There may be just some heavy rain wrapping around the tornado, or what was the tornado, but we still have this kind of a lop over, what we call the hook, on the backside of this thunderstorm that is still something that we're watching. At one point, this was possibly a debris ball, a ball of debris that comes with the tornado, that travels with the tornado. More video out of Springfield now, where we had some damage, and we had actual confirmation of touchdown and video of that. And you can see here that that is something else. You're looking at a, wow, looking at this video with you for the first time. This is home video from one of our viewers, and there is distinct rotation, and that looks well formed, does it not, Jeremy? I mean, you know, if I had to hazard to guess, that is not just a little teeny roped out tornado reaching down from the cloud. That's very well structured, holding together pretty well. Debris field that wraps around it.
That's the stuff you see in Minnesota.
That's the stuff you see in the Midwest.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to just plot me down in the front of a television and say, watch this,
where are you?
Oh, that's in the plains.
It's tough to
No,
determine.
actually, that's in the Springfield area.
Right.
That's incredible.
You know, we're just getting word, guys, that in Monson, law enforcement there has told us that some houses on Main Street, in their words, are gone.
Yeah,
are
a couple of them.
completely
They
gone.
said a couple of the houses are
In
gone.
Monson.
That's a police officer in Monson.
So it gives you an idea of just how powerful this is. You're looking at video of it, but when you hear the reports out there of some of the damage, and in their words of law enforcement that a couple of houses are gone, of course we're working on getting video, but just, you know, it puts it in perspective of really how powerful this tornado or tornadoes are.
And Francis, that would correspond to the highest winds that we were seeing at that point in the storm of 100 miles per hour, what we call the gate-to-gate. And this is live from Springfield, the damage. And I'm not even going to guess at what strength this tornado is at, but I mean, you just kind of cherry pick some of the things that you're seeing blown around when damage, which would be some of the branches, and houses seem to be at least intact, but we're missing quite a bit of shingles in some of them, and roofs partially stripped. So, you know, that's on the low end of the Whdh scale, if I had to say. But again, I'm not going to speculate EF0, EF1, EF2. We'll let the experts do that in the field studies with the National Weather Service tomorrow. But wow, I mean, yeah, Jeremy, if you just plot me down and say, where are you right now, I would not say New England, that's for sure. When you're seeing something like this, and you see that there is a distinct wedge to that. It's not like, you know, a roped out finger that kind of dangles like a string from the cloud. You're seeing this as a distinct, wholesome rotation coming out of the cloud, reaching ground, and holding together. And this is from Springfield, and we were seeing at that point from the Albany radar about 70 miles per hour inbound, outbound from that radar.